And we're back. Manchester United 0, Liverpool 3. Enjoy this moment. If you're a Liverpool fan, these moments don't come around all the time. Dominating a game like that at Old Trafford and winning 3-0. So make sure, wherever you are in the world, make sure you're enjoying it. So the game today, I think it was within 90 seconds, we got the first set of poverty chants. At about 42 minutes, we got the first Hillsborough chants. I mean, it's the time we moved on from this kind of nonsense. This stuff was very much audible on your Sky broadcasts and all this kind of stuff. People need to be calling this out because we need to move on from this. People need to have a bit more imagination and a bit more class when it comes to your typical footy banter and all this kind of nonsense. Tragedy chanting, I don't know what you get from it. But anyway, let's look at the game and let's talk about Ryan Gravenberch. But this was meant to be the game where he's playing against better opposition, playing in a bit of a bear pit atmosphere. It's going to be a real test of how he gets on. And he was fantastic. He was brilliant for first half at least, up until maybe the game started petering out around 70 minutes. He was clearly the best player on the pitch. What we were seeing from Gravenberch, I think, is what sets him apart from Endo. And I like Endo a lot, but they're clearly two very different players. And I think what Arne Slot wants from a player in that position, we saw it a few times. First off, we saw it for the Trent Alexander-Arnold disallowed goal. So Gravenberch often had, certainly in the first half, often had the United player pretty close to him. I think we saw Mainu tight to him a few times, and Xerxes tight to him a few times. For the Trent disallowed goal, I think it was Xerxes that was close to him. Gravenberch receives the ball in a really tight position. Now, for some players, this would be a really precarious position. Having the ball in your own defensive third, receiving the ball with a opposition player really close to you. And what we're seeing from Gravenberch is that he's got the physicality, he's got the ability to move his body, and the kind of confidence and the technical ability to use his body to create space and take the ball on the half turn. Obviously, he drives forward at the ball. Trent obviously scores the goal. It's correctly ruled off for offside. Mo Salah is in offside position when he touches the ball. And unfortunately, Trent doesn't get his goal. We did see, I guess, what Liverpool's game plan was. They knew United would come flying out the traps. The crowd would be up for it. United would try and play on the front foot. Liverpool didn't seem too perturbed by this. It was like, they kind of knew that they might suffer a little bit, that they'd have to just be strong a little bit. I think what we're seeing from Slot's Liverpool is a little bit of what we, similar, or maybe a turbocharged upgrade to what we've seen from Roberto De Zerbi's time at Brighton. So, we'd see with De Zerbi's Brighton, they would like to get the ball a lot, get control of the ball. They knew they could move at a pace, but a lot of the time they were maybe setting traps for the opposition to, kind of start the press and then move it forward with one-touch football. With Liverpool, obviously they're a higher calibre of player than what you've got at Brighton. It's all about control, and Liverpool were looking to control the ball today. And I say control whether they've got the ball or whether they don't have the ball. What was really impressive was Liverpool's physicality. And I'm talking from that midfield three. United found it really difficult to play through Liverpool's midfield, to play through the centre. Liverpool were proactive in how they were intercepting the ball, and we saw that from Gravenberch, we saw it from McAllister, and we saw it from Szoboszlai for the three Liverpool goals. Whether it was, I think the first goal, it was Casemiro's lazy pass that Gravenberch pounced on. There was for the second goal, it was Szoboszlai nicking the ball off Casemiro, and then for the third goal, it was McAllister nicking the ball off Kobbie Mainoo. And this is really, really impressive for me, because I think last season I was definitely critical of McAllister and Szoboszlai in terms of how they were adapting to the physical nature of the Premier League, which Szoboszlai first season in the Premier League, with McAllister taking that upgrade into a better team where, more is expected of you for every single minute of the game. So to see this improvement is really important, I think, for Liverpool's midfield, which under Klopp, it was the real driving force in the success. Last season we saw, this Liverpool 2.0 kind of maybe, overachieve for where they were in the development. So I think now we're seeing maybe a bit more of a true reflection of their development. And I like what I'm seeing. It's different to what we've seen with the kind of physicality of the Milner, Fabinho, Henderson, Ronaldo, all those kind of players. It's more technical, but I think we know it's got to be strong. It can't just be about technicians in the middle of the pitch, because you get eaten alive in the Premier League there. So what we're seeing so far is really impressive. What Arne Slot so far, we can kind of see what his identity. And I think what is interesting in terms of possibilities for the team is that when Jurgen Klopp came in, we could see his blueprint immediately in the first game against Spurs. We could see what he wanted to do, but obviously it was a long way from being able to successfully implement that by having the right players around him and the right quality of players, the right profile of players. With Arne Slot, I think we're going to see things a lot sooner in terms of whether it's going to work or not, because the quality of players he's got is much higher. I think the squad is really excellent, even though I think there is definitely room for improvements, but the level and the depth of the squad are really good. I think player profile wise, it's pretty close to what he wants. There's obviously a few players there. Certainly, as a number 6, we've been talking about it all summer. I think there's another technical and strong player that he wants to bring in there. But for the most part, I think there's a squad there that Arne Slot can work with and to do things that he wants to do with, sooner rather than later. What a successful season looks like for Liverpool, I'm not quite sure. I guess we'll get a better idea of that as the season goes on. But going into the international break, this annoying international break that's always kind of just takes the wind out of the sails of the Premier League after 3 games. I mean, who wants to watch England now or ever really, but especially now? But anyway, heading into the international break, it's fantastic. Played 3, won 3, and 3 clean sheets. Great to see Liverpool team really restrict the opposition in terms of chances on goal. United threatened a little bit. Alisson was obviously mentally strong enough just to be there to mop up anything that did happen, but I wouldn't say there was any massive, huge, clear-cut opportunities for Man United. And I think we can get some more clean sheets. That's obviously going to breed confidence with the back 4, and to get a sense of real strength in a team that at times last season looked vulnerable. Obviously, we went through that period where we were going 1-0 down all the time, and that ends up becoming like a self-fulfilling prophecy. This season, if we can swing it the other way and build up those clean sheets, I think we're going to be in a really, really strong position. Obviously, the next game is at home, Nottingham Forest, and then this season's European adventure starts. I still haven't got a clue what's happening with this Champions League format. I don't know it seems bananas to me. But we've got an away fixture against Milan. That's always good. That's all I know so far. So that's going to be good. So yeah, we can't complain, can we? As I said earlier on, wherever you are, make sure you got a big smile on your face today, like Trent had at the end of the match. He seemed to be loving it. So, if you're working with United fans tomorrow, you can just go into work with a big smile on your face. You don't even have to say a word. Just enjoy it, embrace these moments, because these are the moments that make us fall in love with football in the first place. So enjoy it, and here's to what is hopefully going to be a fun season up Arne Slot's Reds. Have a good week.